I know last week, and I know, Dan, you won't be on camera, but we can talk about you. I know last week you were up at Trump Bedminster.
I was.
Which, by the way, this is not a political thing. We don't need to talk about Trump stuff.
Sure.
But the old course at Bedminster is a really freaking good golf course.
Really good golf course.
And you got to play it with an absolute A-list huge celebrity.
We had the best celebrity, Larry the Cable Guy, whose real name, by the way, is Dan.
No, you got to be kidding me.
No, his name
Larry
is Dan.
the Cable Guy's name is Dan.
So I said to him, Larry, do you prefer to be called Larry or Dan? He goes, well, I don't really care. He goes, some people just call me LD, Larry Dan. So I was like, okay. So I find out, I kind of Googling stuff on the side because I don't know a whole lot about Larry the Cable Guy. So I Google, this guy's worth $100 million. Larry the Cable Guy.
Now, fun fact, I bet you I know where it came from. You know where the bulk of his net worth probably came from? It has to be.
Well, he has copyrighted the name Get Her Done. So anytime anybody says that, he gets mailbox
You owe
money.
him $10 right now.
Right. Mailbox money coming to you. And he's done 4 movies. He's got all these albums. I had no idea he was this prolific. So he's out there with this quarter zip on. It looks like he got it from Goodwill. It's like an old Adidas Climacool, and
They don't even sell those anymore.
So his chest hair, it looks like he's got Don King in a headlock. I mean, this guy's chest hair is all over the place. And I kind of breaking his chops. I said, LD, they got shirts at the pro shop. He goes, well, he's one of these climate cool things, you can wear it, but he's got it zipped down to his navel.
Oh, God.
It's just
So, but my guess is, and Dan, we'll say Dan is our crack research guy here for now.
Yeah.
I bet he made his money mostly from the one movie. Anybody who has young kids.
Oh, Cars. Absolutely.
He's the voice of, don't tell me the name. Oh, God, I just lost it. Mater.
Yes.
He's the hillbilly pickup truck in the movie's Cars. But they had to make a crap ton of money.
Yeah. He's actually a really cool guy.
How's his golf game? That's the real question.
It's not bad. I mean, it's
like not bad like what? What's the number?
What shall we say? He takes celebrity mulligans, I believe they call them.
Can I want to figure out how to way to get to some of those. That'd be great. But he calls them celebrity mulligans.
Mulligans.
I'm not mad. Not mad, Larry.
No. Larry.
Adam. Dan. What's his name?
Dan. His name is Dan. So it was a fun day. So he told a story about when the president plays with Brett Baer from Fox News. So they're buddies. They play a lot. So the president goes out, and there's a cadre of Secret Service surrounding him. And so anytime the president moves, the Secret Service moves with him. So there's this huge box that follows the president around. And Brett Baer says to the president, he's, what's that box for? He goes, Trump. He goes, you want to see it? So he does a U-turn in the middle of the fairway. The Secret Service follow him like a flock of birds. So he opens up this huge box, and he says, if the crap hits the fan on the golf course, they put me in this box, and it has grappling hooks on it. A helicopter comes over and lifts the box up and takes me away. So Brett Baer goes, well, what about us? He goes, too bad.
You guys are screwed.
You're up the creek, right? So I thought that was a pretty interesting
That's
story.
insane. That's a real thing, though?
It's a real thing.
I literally thought you were going to some
No,
punchline
it's
at
an
that point.
absolute box they put the president in, and a helicopter picks it up and takes him off the property. And, we saw the sniper nest they have there when he comes out. There's snipers positioned everywhere. Apparently it didn't work that well.
At West Palm.
In West Palm, yeah.
Have you played the West Palm course?
I have not.
It's meticulous. It's like perfect.
I bet.
I'm an old school guy.
Yeah.
It feels a little new school, a little contrived, a little, like most of the courses have waterfalls and, like kind of that man-made stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're going to contrive a golf course, like Muirfield Village, in my opinion, is like the bar for the fake contrived golf course. But
what do you think of waterfalls in a golf course?
What do I think of them?
Yeah, I mean,
are they natural or are they man-made?
Well, have you ever played Rio Seco in Vegas?
Yeah.
They have one there.
Yeah.
That is actually really awesome. It's a backdrop of a hole.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is absolutely gorgeous. So
but
I
here's
enjoyed
the difference.
that.
Think about this. Think about that waterfall or the Trump waterfall.
Right.
Because every course he has a waterfall at some point. Then think about when you went to play Cascada in Vegas, a great example. And you're on that driving range, which is one of the most killer ranges I've ever been to.
Is.
and then there's the water coming down, a natural waterfall. I don't know. Golf has so much history. The idea of this man-made kind of contrived BS, don't love it. I like the old school stuff. So if there's a waterfall that's natural, a babbling brook, love it.
Yeah.
But if it feels like it's just made for TV,
Yeah,
like think about the difference between courses here locally, Liberty National and Bayonne.
Right.
They're both new courses.
Yes.
They're both modern era courses. One is made for TV. One is made to look good from drone footage. One's made to be on tour. The other one's made to be.
Is there a
in my
golf
opinion,
course
better golf
that's it's the most links golf course I've ever played in America? Is Bayonne.
It's funny. I took a photo of it.
It really is an amazing
years
property.
ago. Yeah, and I
Given
took a
where
photo.
it is.
Yeah, it's in a. It's
It was a
like
dump. It was a landfill.
It was a landfill from all of the dredging and stuff they had to do when they built like Battery Square Park in New York.
Correct.
And even the driving range, you head out in the freaking into the river,
into the Hudson River. Yeah.
But
There's a
I took
net
a
that
photo
brings them
one
up.
time, and this is years ago. I'd love to be able to try to find it. It was when Twitter was Twitter, not X, whatever it's called now, and it got picked up the photo because I said, "Guess where I am," and everybody thought it was Ireland.
Yeah.
But
I
it's
have
not. It's in
pictures from there,
freaking
and it
Bayonne,
looks-
New Jersey.
You have all that fescue grown over. I'll tell you a story about Rio Seco. Back to Rio Seco. So I'm out there in Vegas with a friend of mine.
Somebody's gonna call us out. It's called Rio Seca, by the way. But Seco. That's
sorry.
a bad watch. Sorry, my bad. Rio Seca, but it's cool, Jack. We got to.
All right. So can I get back to my story, please? So we get to Rio, whatever, and we're in the pro shop, and at that it was when Butch Harmon was the pro there.
Yeah.
So Butch is in the restaurant having lunch with Mike Shanahan. Okay, so we went in and got our picture taken. Blah blah blah. A couple of star effers we are. So we go in the pro shop and we're looking around, and the guy goes, "Is Mike your casino host?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Mike,
I had no idea what he's talking about. I was like, yeah, he's my casino host. So my friend Al, who's, you know Al. Al goes, what do you mean? I said, shut up. Shut up,
Al.
So he goes, okay, guys, you have the first tee. So we never paid to play there because
Jesus.
somebody named Mike.
Some poor
is
guy
my
named Mike
casino
got billed for
host.
you.
Is he your casino host? So I said, well, yes, he is.
That is a Jack Bondi story. I will say of Vegas golf, and I just saw some video today. Some of the boys were texting about the most expensive tee times now in America.
Yeah.
And Shadow Creek.
Oh, is it 1,500, 1,200, somewhere
I don't
around
even
there?
know what it is. I will say
Ocean Course is up there too.
So I think I'll have to pull up the list.
Ocean Course is 650, I think.
I mean, we should know what that is. But
It's not,
Yeah.
we did not pay that.
I don't know if I can hear you, but I can.
When we went with State Club, we did not
Of
pay
course,
that.
no.
But it is 650, and they're booked up
But
for a
Shadow's
year and a half.
crazy expensive. TPC, Sawgrass,
It's getting on it.
is
It
one of
really is
them.
getting outrageous.
Pebble, and Whistling. Those are the five. It's Shadow, Sawgrass, Ocean Course, Pebble, Whistling. I think is what it was.
There's not even a close second to Shadow. I mean, it's a chasm.
It's pretty cool though.
It is.
It's cool too when you see the photos.
The
of the aerial.
environmentalists love it.
Yeah, they do. This is all natural. It grows
really
in. It's
is.
good. It's really good. Of the turn, let's go back to the Trump thing. We can kind of get all that together.
Yeah.
Have you done Turnberry yet?
I have not, no.
Have you done Scotland?
I've not gone to Scotland, just Ireland.
Okay.
And I'm going to
So-
go to Southwest Ireland with the
With
guys
Dan.
from Fieldstone, hopefully,
So I will tell you that
on that trip.
The
I'm hoping
Trump-
to.
the Trump Turnberry golf course
Yes.
is spectacular.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Turnberry's been Turnberry for years.
Sure.
And the idea that there's not an open championship being held at that golf course is blasphemous.
I think there's probably political motivations there.
I'd venture to say, didn't they take it away? It was in the Rota and
Correct.
they ripped it.
Correct.
It's a shame too, because that dude, I'm telling you, Jack, I believe it to be the best golf course in Scotland. It's not my favorite. My favorite's still North Berwick. North Berwick is the way golf is supposed to be, but I think Turnberry is the best.
How much is weather a factor?
Any course in GB&I don't think it's much less. I mean, it's literally on the coast and on some cliffs, and when you get back by the water and the lighthouse at Turnberry, it is it probably gets really windy. We played it on a day that it was like sunny and 72 and barely any wind.
Yeah.
But I mean, whenever you're over there, like Portrush, Portrush is a brilliant venue. Obviously, Shane Lowry won it, and it's back there again this summer.
That's my favorite.
Portrush is the best, dude. I have Portrush, in my opinion, as the best non-American golf course I've ever played.
You ever party down in the little fishing village of Portrush?
Yeah, it's the best. The Harbor Bar.
It is.
It's a tiny little bar. It fits like 12 people. It smells like 250 years old.
So
and
we're there, having a couple pops, and they kicked this girl out in the street. Anybody know who this is? Oh, that's Sean's sister. He said, well, can you make sure she just gets home? Like 2 hours later, she's still there.
Oh no!
That's the day I had that fish stew. Oh boy!
Yeah, Jack. We'll insert photo of fish stew.
Oh.
So that was your favorite?
That was my favorite there. I had the most fun. I think we had the most fun at Ballyliffin because we had a challenge match, 12 of us versus 12 of them.
Yeah.
So we go out there and we look at these guys, and they're a rough looking crew. Like there's 12 of them and 5 teeth, and that's collectively.
Sorry
so I'm thinking, okay, we should be able
Bondi.
we should be able to handle these guys pretty well. I mean, the average age was like 73. So I'm thinking, okay, these guys, you should see the way they get it around. So I don't know. He's like, you Yanks, you need to keep it on the ground. So every time I lay up, I'm trying to chip a little something, flight something in there. And finally, around the 13th hole, I decided I'm going to putt 40 yards off the green. Of course, I stick it to about 3 feet. And the guy goes, it's about fucking time, lad.
Yes, it is. But they play. So that's funny. They play a different game, and I always say I'm better overseas.
Yeah.
Because I can't throw the ball really far and really high and stick it there.
Cannot. And
it's a different way of playing the game.
It was pouring rain, and I'm telling you, the fairways were concrete, just packed down fescue.
At Ballyliffin.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that. It probably wasn't the greatest golf course, but the most fun I think we had because we had weather and it was good.
You had all. I mean, look, you can't go overseas and not at least have a round or two in the weather.
We had dinner. We had dinner with those fellows. We got our butts kicked.
You got beat by the 5 teeth crew.
We did, the 5 teeth crew.
So that's a funny story that you talked about. I love the interaction with the randomness. We played a golf course called Al Woodley in northern England, up Southport. An hour and a half away from Southport.
Right.
Most people don't know what Al Woodley is.
Right.
Everybody knows Liverpool and Birkdale and Lytham, St. Anne's and Hillside, Formby, whatever. So we go play this golf course called Al Woodley, and I'll bury the lead here for the back part of the story. And it was 16 of us. We get off 18, and we're sitting on this back patio, and it's a beautiful, sunny day. We're having a couple beers, and this man that comes out had to be no less than 127 years old. He comes out and says, which one of you is the leader? In this big, thick, kind of pomp British English accent.
Yeah.
And everybody points to me, and I'm like, yeah, hi. He's like, why are you here? And I'm like, well, we're a bunch of golfers.
You get asked that a lot,
from all
too,
over.
by the way.
Yeah, that's different. That's a whole different pod episode. But I said, we're just all nerdy American golfers who love the game, and this is the very first Alistair Mackenzie golf course that's ever been designed by him. They even in the pro shop have logo that says the original Mackenzie. It says.
Wow.
So fast forward like
cool.
4 hours later, they had special dispensation that day, to bring in a television inside the clubhouse for the first time in club history.
Wow.
To watch the final round of the Open Championship.
How about that?
So they invite us to the members viewing area, and it was an aggressive day. I'm talking like the old English guys drinking wine out of the bottle by the end of it.
They're not shy with the
booze. There was a nickname given, Dan, to one of Schoolboy.
Was that you?
The guy comes to me.
I don't know you were that great at school.
No, I was never that age. I've been bald since I was 12, so that's the thing. This guy puts his arm around me, and he's talking to me, and he's literally, every time he talks, he's projectile spitting all over my face. So I'm like dodging his spit, and he was a sweet guy, but just couldn't keep it in his mouth.
Yeah.
So he goes, you guys are all lovely, and I understand him, and I see him, and I like that guy, but he says, who brought the fucking Schoolboy? And he points over to one of our boys, Ryan Talbot.
I know Ryan.
You know Talbot, yeah.
I know Ryan.
So that nickname,
I'll tell you a story about Ryan. But anyway, go ahead.
So that nickname is stuck. I will not refer to him in the office as Schoolboy, but outside the office, that is a nickname that has stuck.
We're playing a gap match at the Legacy Club, and Ryan is my partner. Talbot's my partner. Oh. So we play 9. We go out in the outward at 9, and we're on the 10th hole. I actually made a birdie on that hole, and here comes the pro speeding down with his golf cart. He says, "Who is Ryan Talbot?" "It's me, Ryan Talbot." He goes, "You've been disqualified." I'm like, what? What? It's because he hadn't been on the club long enough to have to be official member of the Gap team from that.
He had just joined.
He had just joined.
Yeah.
So now I have to take on these two brutes on the back nine by myself, and
Did you win?
Can we next subject, please?
One thing that we have to talk about is I know Jack from golf.
Yeah.
We ended up playing actually a member guest at Firestone Country Club one time.
We did.
Jack hit in the 3 days. Jack hit 3 fairways. It was a rough go, right? We'll say it was a rough go.
Yeah.
It was a rough go. You almost quit golf.
I actually forgot about it.
Yeah, we'll block it out.
Golfers have short memories.
You know what? My favorite part of and that's look, this pod or whatever we're doing here is kind of a thing about what we love about golf, not necessarily the nerdiness about swing planes and golf clubs and what tour players do in this and live PJ fight. It's like the experience stuff. And what's funny is the two things that stand out the most from that Firestone trip are the pants that because Jack only wears pants. The pants you wore, it was 97 and 90% humidity, but he wore pants. The pants you wore, we'll show a photo of it and how bad we made fun of those pants. But on the way home, we drove. Carrie, my father-in-law, falls asleep in the back of the car. He's out for, it's a 6-hour drive. He was out for 5 hours and 57 minutes. And him and I turned on whatever, Hair Nation.
Hair Nation.
And we sang Hair Band the entire time. Like we literally sang for I think 5 straight hours. And that was the funniest part. I said we laughed the entire way home of like listening to him sing like Skid Row or something. Was incredible.
That was fun.
That was a fun time.
That was a lot of fun. That was a great trip.
Yeah, Firestone's a cool track. It's a fun
the good thing about Ohio is leaving.
Well, okay. So Jack knows I'm from Ohio.
Yeah.
And Jack's now dead to me, but that's a whole different story. So the other thing Jack likes to do is he likes to make fun of our flexes. And Jack thinks that we, because we get to do a lot of cool stuff, that we flex. He stopped in my office before we got here in the studio area and was teasing about making up a story about Gary Player, which, funny fact, I have a real Gary Player story, haha. But also the logo that Jack is rocking today. That probably sums you up as good as anything.
It is a G4. But
it is. Oh, God.
So anyway.
Is there an actual logo under your fake name tag?
No, there isn't. This is the logo.
Oh, God. So that's a fun one. But that's kind of you in a
Ryan
nutshell,
and
right?
I always have this fun contest. You want to talk about flexing. We always argue over who grew up poorer.
Yeah.
I love that. And
it's man, Mom and Dad. Sorry, we weren't poor.
It always ends up with it ends up as a draw.
Was that and who, what
First
did
of
you
all, we did not grow up that poor.
No.
But it's fun to it's a weird flex.
But it's also funny that we both, I always say I'm going to inherit 2 things from my dad.
Right.
I think how to try to be a good human.
Right.
And male pattern baldness.
Right. I used to, the funeral director, when my mother passed, she said, does your mother have any hobbies? And I said, crying and smoking. And he just looked at me, and I was just kind of kidding, but not really.
You're like I'm part in tears, part telling you the truth.
I don't know if he saw the humor in it, but it was
how long
dark.
have you been playing golf, Jack?
Since I was about 14. The guy my dad worked with used to own a driving range. My father did not play golf. My grandfather did, so I used to use his old set of clubs. And my dad worked with this guy who owned a driving range. So he would just let me go out there and hit balls all day long. And when we moved to Syracuse, New York, there was a little dumpy golf course called Wildwood Country Club, which is now a Home Depot.
Oh, perfect.
But it was just like a farmer owned this place, and he decided to bulldoze some holes. So I went out there, and I would just hit balls and hit balls and hit balls. And I spent a lot of useless time on the range. And I had a span between 35 and 45 where I kind of got it. I had my 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
But then, I reached my genetic potential. It's been downhill.
I was going to say, he's been playing that long. The joke that I have to say out loud is, why aren't you better? But that's fine. We'll digress.
Do you see the tear coming down?
Yeah, but how often do you get to play now?
3-4 days a week.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I wonder what that's like.
Yeah. Well, I sold my practice, so I have a little more free time. and Wednesdays, Fridays, usually on the weekends.
It's funny because I invited you somewhere recently and you couldn't get away from it. But
well, sometimes
more free time.
Some people have to.
But
work.
I am also the king of the last minute.
You
invite.
are. I am like 12th down on his list.
No, it's not 12th. It's
They're
just
11. Strong 11.
Solid. Yeah, maybe 12th. You're right. No, but it's just a lot of stuff comes up last minute,
know.
and
No,
you
you're
talk
right,
to the
you're
local
right,
guys. Best logo, and not even best. What is your favorite
My
logo?
favorite
in golf?
logo is Sleepy Hollow.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. So it's funny. I love Sleepy Hollow. The Headless Horseman you can't go wrong with.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Stanwich Witch logo? Because they have multiple logos there. Stanwich in Connecticut.
I know
It's
I
a
know what it is.
green-faced witch riding a pin flag like a broom. Like, that's great. But I'm a more traditionalist. So for me, like...
There was a course in Myrtle Beach called The Witch, and they used to have a witch logo. That was
Oh, really? I wonder if Stanwich stole it, or they stole it from
It was
Stanwich.
kind of cool. Yeah,
Wingfoot. Wingfoot's the coolest logo. in
yeah,
golf.
that is pretty cool. It's austere, and that's a big word for you.
Can somebody Google
It's-
austere? How do you spell it? Best locker room, first off.
I really loved a place in North Carolina,
I know what he's going to say. Forest Creek.
Forest Creek.
Bro, how good is that place?
What a great locker room.
And the food that they serve inside the men's locker room is brilliant.
There's a little bar inside there. You can have a cocktail and sit down. It's very voluminous. It's a large locker room.
Another word with too many syllables.
But I like old school locker rooms, like with old listen, not to bring this up, but PV's locker room is kind of cool.
Kind of cool. So it's funny.
The metal cages.
I wouldn't
it's
disagree with
neat.
you about Forest Creek. Did you get on the saddle? You know how they have saddles on those little
Of course.
Yeah, I've insert
course.
photo of that here too. 'Cause we did the same. I went to a locker room the other day and I walked in and said, "This is what a locker room is supposed to look like." I had
was?
never played manufacturers,
Oh.
and their locker room has those big old metal kind of.
Yeah.
I love that. Like
I
Marion
like-
has that old feel
with
to
the
it.
old spike marks in it.
Yeah.
And, AC Country Club's locker room was pretty neat.
I'll say though, the one I'm partial to, Oakmont, and Oakmont.
Oh gosh, how about the SWAT room, huh?
Oh man, dude, I was there
That's pretty
two
neat.
Tuesdays ago
Were
or
you?
whatever. Last Tuesday, I think. Last Tuesday.
Yes.
The rough is unplayable.
I saw
The social media videos that are
Where they were
going on out
they
there.
were throwing the
Dude, it's
balls
insane.
into it.
It's insane.
Well, I also saw the thing you sent about the SWAT team warning. Like,
Oh, the
if you-
SWAT
if you-
warning, yeah.
If you don't find it, just keep going.
Yeah, and don't rely on the caddies to try to find the ball
Right,
anymore.
right,
so
right.
we played with our buddy Spencer, who is like a legitimate. He's an Oakmont +5, and there were two different times where he would hit a full 9-iron trying to just advance it out of the rough, and I'm talking 60 yards max. You just can't hit it out. Sorry, Dan.
That can't be fun.
I will say, seeing you, I had Jack out to come Oakmont to join a bunch of the boys one time, and he showed up. You were in your scrubs in the Barbie Dream car when you rocked into the gate. Then
Well, yeah, again, last minute in the pouring rain, I drove across Pennsylvania. You want to play Oakmont? I'm like, yes, I'm in the car now.
you're like, I'm in surgery. I'm gonna wrap this sucker up. Like, what's the on course go to snack for you? And I'm not talking about whiskey. I'm talking about food or a place
Who has
that
some
is
special places with food.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm gonna pass.
I did a video the other day about the best food, but the on course one that does it the best for me, the milkshake at Muirfield Village.
Oh,
You get that at the turn, get like an M&M milkshake. It's kind of like an old school Dairy Queen Blizzard.
I'll tell you where you don't want to have food at the turn is in Ireland anywhere. Because I think they just have leftover food and they put it into sandwiches. So I'd like, how can you go wrong? I was at the K Club. So at the turn at the K Club, I order a tuna fish sandwich. How can you go wrong? There's corn in the tuna fish. Now, I think they just
I don't
had,
eat tuna fish.
They
It's
just
not
had
supposed to have
leftover corn. So I think what they do is, I think the next day they collect the corn, if you know what I mean, and put it back in the sandwich. It's the ultimate recycling.
So we're talking about traditions, and you mentioned the bagpipe thing, which any golfer is going to love that, right? That's pretty wicked. But what about
One of the ones that comes to mind is at Royal Montreal Golf Club. They every night they toast to the Queen, and
do they toast the king now?
when you see the members,
She gone.
she's gone.
Yeah,
the
it's
Queen is
king.
dead.
Yeah.
They wear their velour members jackets.
Is it really
with the
velour?
emblem It is velour with an emblem on it. It's maroon. It's
Yeah,
sweet.
I've seen that logo. It's a really cresty,
it's
cumbersome logo, right?
really like a family logo
Yeah.
kind of thing. It's gorgeous. and everybody toasts at night to the Queen and long live the Queen, and that's a really cool tradition.
My question to you, and I mean this with all sincerity, knowing you, did you go touch one of the jackets, and did you have the urge to say, "This is beautiful"? What is this, velvet? Did you have that urge?
Of course, I did. I think I did. I may have.
It would hurt my feelings.
One of the members there was we kind of befriended one another, and he was a really good guy, and I played with Gary Smith at Royal Montreal.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun with one of the members, and he and I was
one of the other unique traditions that I wanted to throw out there. Obviously, I have not done Royal Montreal, but I've heard about toasting the Queen.
Yep.
Porch putting at Oakmont.
Oh, that's cool, isn't it?
It's like you go to the place that's just perfect in all ways. You have this great meal. You have a couple drinks, and it's
not a
elite.
stodgy thing.
No, but it's so comfortable. They say, "Hey,
it is.
do you want to go on the porch, have a cigar, a whiskey?"
Yes.
And then you putt off a mat. They bring the mat up, down 3 steps, across the cart path, onto the practice green, which is, insert photo here, it's part of the 9th green at Oakmont.
Basically to the
I mean, it's the pin 9 is just the front half of the putting green.
Correct.
And then you putt off the porch in the dark, and they fully lit the putting green. That's about as much fun as I've had.
I remember a practice playing. I have some video of it, and just when you hit and then you go off onto the 9th green.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And I was like, wow.
That place is one of
that. Going to be a good day.
Best spot for like the post round cigar and whiskey.
Oh boy. Calusa Pines has a really neat thing. Yeah, they have a really
That's very cool.
thing.
Good pull.
Yeah, they have a very cool one.
That
At Old Chatham.
I have not done Old Chatham.
Yeah, it's.
I've got a very big hole in my New England. Is Old Chatham in New England, right?
Yeah.
No, where's
No,
Old
it's
Chatham?
in North Carolina. Sorry.
Oh, forget it. Different spot.
It's near Cary, North Carolina.
I was thinking somewhere different then.
Sorry.
Going back to it though, I do have a huge hole in my golf resume. I've done nothing in New England, like nothing. Got to do that at some point. There's a lot of good stuff up there.
There is.
Die tomorrow. What golf course? Any golf course.
Well, I told you my fantasy is to.
What is your fantasy, Jack? Go ahead and say that again.
My fantasy is to the Make-A-Wish Foundation kind of just pretend I had like some disease, and so I could play at Augusta. And when I finished, just say it was just Lyme disease. So then run down Magnolia Lane and say suckers.
We do not sanction that activity. We're sorry to the organization and to anybody who's ever been sick.
You can't sleep at night. You're like, what's the thing? I know. I'll get a
Your brain works that way.
Foundation thing.
I got to be honest. I've never thought that before. Never thought about that before. So, if taking away the whole Make-A-Wish fraud, what would be the one course? Any course, everything's achievable. You have one more course to play.
I might say the Old Course.
That's cool. You've done the Old Course, though.
Yes.
Okay. I was going to say, what would you choose that you have played and you haven't played? But if the Old Course, you got both. The Old Course is just, that'd be a good way to go out.
Yeah.
If you had to play only one golf course for the rest of your life, only one course, what would it be?
Boy, there's some courses I've played.
Take location away from it.
I said to myself during the round, I'm like, this is a golf course you could play every day. And I've said that multiple times. And some of it is I love die courses. I think a lot of die courses are golf courses, even though they beat
He's
you
the
up.
one that likes all the die courses.
Well, even though they beat you up and people criticize them, I think they're cool golf courses. And people, they're gimmicky or this and that. I don't know. I think they're really cool golf courses.
Everybody makes mistakes. That's fine. But what would it be then? Would it be one of the die courses?
I know this is crass in the Ryan Gano world to mention a public golf course. But
Pebble's public. Bethpage Black's
Bully
public.
Rock is a really cool golf course. It's someplace I can play every day.
Rolling Rock.
Bully Rock. Bully Rock.
Bully Rock.
Bulle Rock in Havre de Grace, Maryland.
Never heard of it.
Which is a die course. Really?
Really?
The LPGA used to have their open there. The McDonald's.
That's good. I'm not against munis. That's a thing. I'm not against public golf courses.
Seems like that might be.
I will say that mine would be. It's hard not to say Oakmont, but it would beat you up every day. Oakmont is like the perfect combo of good golf and fun. But National Golf Links of America is just the walk of walks.
That's on my bucket list to play. And what's your bucket list course? You played a lot of golf courses. What's your bucket list?
I have one major hole in my in the resume. I have not played Augusta National.
Have you tried the Make-A-Wish Foundation?
I have not resorted to that yet. there's a bunch of courses I haven't played, obviously, but the one that I want that I haven't is Augusta. But I will tell you, the idea that I have yet to play Chicago golf, Butler and Shore Acres in Chicago kills me. I like the old school stuff, not you like Pete Dye stuff. Anything Rayner, Tillinghast, Mackenzie, the old school stuff is what I like. So for me, Shore Acres being like an OG Rayner golf course out there.
There's some really sleepy courses in the Northeast, and we're very fortunate here to have some Tillinghast that are like. There's a little course called Shakamaxon. You ever play it? It's a great golf course.
Seriously, Shakamaxon?
Shakamaxon.
And it's a Tilly?
It's a Tilly. It's
so
fantastic.
But isn't it weird?
I'm 99% sure it's a Tilly.
And I'm not one of those guys who I'm not a golf course architect and I don't nerd out on it, but the old courses feel different. But those classic designers, whether it's Mackenzie or McDonald and Rayner and Tilly and Flynn.
But great designs. When you go to PV, you say, when you play a hole, you're like, I recognize this hole. You know why? Because someone else stole the design and it's somewhere else.
You know what's funny about that, too? You know that the two, in my opinion, the two greatest golf courses in the world, which are the one down the road that I don't say the name, and Oakmont, were designed with a guy who did one golf course.
Right. Amazing, right?
Crump did. I mean, look, Crump called in, and we know Harry Colt had a huge hand in it. And Tilly and a bunch of guys came in. Right. But it was a Crump-designed golf course. I mean, I think he hung himself at
George Crump
after 14.
13, I think.
13 holes, whatever it was. And then Founds, I think is how you say it, is the guy that did Oakmont. Did one golf course. So I think it's kind of interesting.
Point.
Yeah. My two favorite.
So your masterpiece.
Yeah, the two best golf courses in the world, in my opinion, are done by one guy. This is a cool question. The best entrance, what is, whether it be through a gate, whether it be a long driveway, what is the best entrance?
There's a private golf course in upstate New York. That's the private of the Turning Stone Resort, and the private golf course, and it's eluding my it's not Timberbanks.
Is it like the Altunia?
Yeah, Adunio. It's
something like that.
Adunio. That entrance is spectacular. That gate, I have a picture of it in my phone.
I actually know I've done that. It's really good. Never
thought
of that.
Gorgeous, and the entry is absolutely stunning, and there's no one ever playing that golf course, and it is spectacular. It's the private of the three.
It's good golf courses up there.
Yeah, Galiute is the other one, and Shenandoah. Great place to bring a group of guys. They have a great steakhouse there. The hotel's there, of course.
It's good.
There's not much going on around it. It's in Verona,
middle of nowhere,
New York.
almost.
It's near Syracuse, but anyway, it's a cool entry. What about you?
We talked about it earlier. We said I think going through the gates at National Golf Links, because the gates are so narrow, you can barely fit like a Fiat through it, and you're driving in there like an escalator. You have whatever car, it just doesn't fit. But that, with the clubhouse being up there, and just you feel the history. But Dan actually came up with the one that is the right one, and when he said it, I said, "Holy shit, you're right! It's taking a boat to Fisher's freaking Island."
See, that was my bucket list one that I talked to your father-in-law the other day about getting. I want to play there badly.
Yeah, Fisher's is...
So Fisher's is the golf course I want to play the most.
Yeah.
I've not played.
It's the idea that they don't have a caddy program, that there's zero irrigation in the fairways. It's exceptional. I believe they have the best maybe 3-hole stretch in the history of golf at Fisher's. Don't tell me Dan will know it. There's 1, 2... So 3, 4, 5. 3 is a tee shot to a green that looks like it's falling into the ocean. It's a beautiful infinity green. Then 4 is I think it's kind of like a Cape-ish hole. Golf guys, don't yell at me if I got it wrong. To the greatest punch bowl in golf.
Yeah,
and then that's 2, 3, 4. Then 5. Yeah, 5 is like a 230-yard par 3 Biarritz that's 12 feet deep in that gully. And now it's not all green now. I think all the green balls were running off the front of it, so I think it's not all continual green, but you can see that it's an original Biarritz in there. It's pretty awesome. So,
you ever play Colonial?
I've not.
I understand on the front 9, which never gets televised, there's a 3-hole stretch there, and it sounds similar to
really?
What that design is.
Colonial's everybody loves that place. It seems you don't get bad feedback there.
Yeah,
so the drive to Fisher's. The drive to Fisher's, or if you ever get a chance to go do TX0, this is super douchey. It's the place that you have to arrive via PJ. You cannot even drive to the golf course. Pretty badass. Sorry, Jack. What else you got, Dan?
You gonna fire up the PJ and take us out there?
Super golf nerdy question. Favorite template hole, and where is it?
Oh my God, there's so many holes that come to mind. What's yours? I'm gonna throw it back.
North
to
Berwick.
Yeah.
All of them.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, like the Redan at National. I mean, there's so many good holes there, but for me, like North Berwick is the one that encompasses all of the original template holes. Like it's the Redan and the Punchbowl and the Biarritz and the Cape. For me, it's a clean sweep for North Berwick. North Berwick is the most fun golf course I've ever played outside of the U.S. I love it there.
It's pretty incredible.
It's a good one.
I think Fox Chapel.
Fox, dude, have you done there yet?
I have.
17 at Fox Chapel. It's like, how big is that green? It's got to be 120 freaking yards.
At least 100 yards long.
It's insane.
Yeah, I never thought about that. That's a good one.
That place is really, really good. Best par 3 in the world. Your favorite par 3 in the world.
Well, I gotta say the Devil's Arse.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's 10 at the water park.
At the water park down the road.
That is a good one.
It's a great par. I think I think every golf course should have a really good short par 3. I mean, that's a discussion.
We had this argument at Manufacturers on Monday. At Manufacturers, they had a hole playing 97 yards over the quarry. My home club, Philly Cricket, obviously we have the truest. They dude, it was playing it. Didn't it one day they have it at 95 yards?
It's 9, right?
No, well, I don't know what it was in the truest routing. It's 3 for us.
It's a cool hole. I hit in the left bunker.
Yeah,
That's all.
dude, I've hit it on the road. It's for 95 yards. I've missed that green so many freaking times.
And listen, you can't discount the hole at Augusta. I mean,
I've never played 12 at Augusta, but I have played. So here's what's funny.
12 at Augusta. It's amazing that you don't think of wind, but it's always a factor there, and
it's just so narrow. You have to be so perfectly in the distance. But that course we talked about, All Woodley.
Yeah.
12 at Augusta.
Yeah.
Is 12 at All Woodley.
Really?
It doesn't have obviously Hogan's Bridge and Ray's Creek and all the
Right,
stuff,
right.
but the hole, the shape of the green and everything, it's there. He
there
has
water?
12 and 13. No, it's not water. It's just all grass down in there.
Right.
But it's the exact same green shape. It's the big, huge runoff, which would go into the water. And 13 at Augusta is also at All Woodley. Like you stand on the tee box and you're like, whoa.
Sitting on that hole at Augusta on 12 is just you can really see a lot of good golf there.
It's a beautiful
And
spot.
you can see people coming down 11, and it's just a great place.
What is the best golf course you've ever played and your favorite golf course you've ever played?
My favorite. There was a golf course in Cleveland I used to play. It's a die called Fowler's Mill.
Really?
And it's my favorite golf course because I think it's where I kind of learned my golf chops. I played a lot of golf there. And it's you're not going to hear about it on anybody's top 10 list, but it's a really good, and I'm 99% sure it is a die.
Yeah.
Because I remember the railroad ties on every
Dead giveaway.
Fowler's Mill is a really cool course, and I play that course in my head all the time. When
That's awesome.
Some people count sheep. I play Fowler's Mill in my head, and I know it's not going to be on anybody's top 10 list.
That's
or
really
top
cool, though.
100. But anyway, it was a muni that I really learned my chops. That's why it's like dear to my heart.
Yeah. What's the best?
The best, oh gosh, it's probably between Portrush or Oakmont.
Yeah. It's hard to argue with that. It's funny. I feel the same way that you do about that place in Ohio at Atlantic City Country Club.
Oh, it's great.
Because I didn't really grow up playing golf, and when I started playing golf, I joined over there when it was like semi-private or whatever. And I just have a love of playing that golf course. It's just a fun freaking golf course.
It is so fun.
Best opening tee shot in all of golf.
The golf course down the road. I mean, it's the one that gets into your soul because you don't know if you'll ever be back, and you're so nervous. And
What did you hit?
I hit a 3-wood. I believe it's a dogleg right. I hit a 3-wood, just kind of carved it around. I actually made par. Oakmont's opening hole is fantastic. Because I remember when I played with you there, I don't know if I got a hold of a bad clam the night before. So right before our tea time, I'm in the men's room fighting for my life.
But you made it to the first tee in time.
I did. They said, I hear this. You're on the first tee.
We're about to tee off.
So I run out. I'm sweating.
Where's the most nervous you ever were on a first tee? Is it the one that you just said?
Yeah. That's the most nervous.
It's funny.
It was hard to even pull the club back.
I always say the only time I ever feel comfortable over there is on my third shot on 18, which is after I hit into the woods and then I punch out. My third shot.
It's just your head, because you've prepped the night before because you know you're playing there, and there's just it's not there's a mystique about it, of course.
You waited your whole life to go try to play it.
Correct.
I will tell you, the most nervous I've ever been on the first tee. I was invited to go play the member guest at Royal Portrush last fall.
That's a good get.
Yeah, it was great experience. John Casey, the family that owned Rosapenna, a good buddy, he invited me over to come play.
Yeah.
Outside of playing like a donkey for 2 days, but anyhow, I go there. I'm super duper nervous. I've never played in like real events.
With your vanity handicap, I know you didn't put those scores in.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. That hurts.
I'm sorry.
Vanity or no? I've been accused of being sandbagger now, not a vanity. It's flip flop.
It depends who you talk to.
I'll take it. I don't know if you noticed that hardware up there. No big deal. So I haven't played in a lot of real events before. That's the pro member championship that I won. No big deal.
You just scratched the member part off.
No, thank you. That's what happens when the pro carries you. So we go out to the first tee. I had just traveled the day before. It was wasn't feeling great. I had a little bit of like travel headache kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the pro comes over, who I know from Port Rush, but he comes over before we're about to tee off. So I'm like, oh shit. Then you look up, and there was a gentleman that I met the night before who was on the board there or something, and he comes over. And then the secretary of the club, which is like the GM version, he comes over. And then the captain of the club, they come over. So now all of a sudden it's like the who's who of Royal Port Rush. And they're standing there to watch me tee off.
Oh, my God.
So John gets up, and John's a pretty good golfer.
Yeah.
He gets up, and John's backswing is faster than my full swing, by the way. I've never seen clubhead speed that way so good.
Right.
He hit it into the trailer park to the right. And you know that first tee at Port Rush is like just...
Yeah.
I take a full swing. I think I had an idiot mark on my driver. I hit a full swing driver about 135 yards straight up into the air. And I didn't want to look back.
The things of nightmares.
Oh, my God. I didn't finish the first hole in either round of the championship. Of the event.
That's as I said. The things of like 3 a.m, you wake up in a cold sweat and go, "Why did I do that?"
Oh my God! Yeah, that 2 days was maybe the worst I've ever played in golf. Sorry, John. I'll make it up to you next time. Jack, you're the best, man. I appreciate you coming on, talking bullshit about golf.
Thanks for having me.
This is literally, I don't know what we even call this sucker, but it's like the podcast about golf stuff, kind of. But it's like what we love about golf.
Sure.
It's not all the equipment and the tour crap. It's about what we remember. It's the laughs. It's the
absolutely
making fun of your pants.
It's the greatest sport in the world. That's why we love it.
Do we love it? Do we love to hate it?
Yeah, we do. It's like, you know.
There's days that it feels good and you're like, yes, I love this game. There's days that say I should just start playing tennis. Yeah, but we love it anyhow.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we'll play soon.
Thank you very much.
I will try to give you more than like 8 hours notice for the next one.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.